Good morning from Cherokee, North Carolina. Today I'm in Cherokee. We are in Cherokee. We decided to come out here this weekend and just come to the mountains and get out a little bit further than where we live. And I've been seeing some really neat stuff, some really ancient stuff in the museum, and I'll show some pictures when I get ready to do this. When I get ready to edit it, I'll edit in some pictures of the museum and some of the really neat things there. But today I was just out here on this creek and just wanted to share a story with you guys. There's a legend of a huge, massive horned snake that lives in the creeks and rivers of the Appalachian Mountains, or pretty much anywhere, and it's really massive, and it'll get you. So it's the legend goes that the snake is as big around as a tree trunk. I mean, it's huge. It's massive. And it lives in the creeks and holes in creeks and things like that. But it's got a diamond pattern on its head, and there's a stone in that diamond pattern, and if a warrior were to go out and kill this snake and take that stone, that diamond shaped stone, it would give him immense powers, powers of immortality. Pretty much he could do anything he wanted. And so this snake is a huge legend in Cherokee and also Creek myth and a lot of other myths. And I carved a gorget, and I want to show you guys that gorget in a little while. It's in my pack, but I have to wait till I can get up there to you and get the camera and show it to you. So that's what I wanted to share with you guys today is that. And I'm going to research the full story on the snake, the horned snake, and tell you about it. Tell you one of the legends on the next video. But, you know, I just wanted to show you guys how beautiful it is out here and how amazing it is, and how I think that stories and legends and myths can get us away from everyday life. It's a good way to escape. It's not only that, but it's also a good way to connect with your ancestors too. And I think that's a good thing sometimes, because in today's society we need an escape. I also think that's the reason why a lot of kids turn to video games and TV is for that escape. But if we could just steer them more towards legends of our ancestors and you know, just things like that, or even basics like King Arthur, or you know, just get them into something that's a good story and gets their mind thinking on that level, and reading books. And I always find that a lot of times kids are really fascinated when you sit down at a campfire and you're telling stories. I think everybody has that. Maybe not everybody, but a good amount of people has good memories of that. When you were a kid, you know, you would sit around the campfire and your dad or your grandpa or somebody would tell stories, and you know, it was just always so fascinating to me to get to hear those stories. And I think that's really important for today's kids, today's society, is that we take time out of our busy day and turn them on to things like that, so that it's not always about video games and things, you know, that's not out in nature. We need to get them out in nature and talk to them about these myths and legends and get them excited about them. And I think the snake story, the monster snake story, is a good one. So when I get back home, I think I'm gonna light up the campfire and have that tale for you guys, probably either Monday or Tuesday, once it gets settled back in, and tell you guys that tale, that legend. But I thought it was really fascinating when I was talking to someone down in the village down there in Cherokee about the massive monster snake that was in the creeks and streams and rivers. Found it pretty fascinating. I'd never heard that story before, so I'm gonna have to look it up to tell you guys, but I was pretty excited about it, so I wanted to tell you guys about basics of the legend. And he says there's a few legends that I can find, stories that I can find about it, and a warrior that actually gets the diamond piece out of his head. So thought that would be a really cool one to tell you guys. Other than that, there are other legends and stories about little people who live out in the woods. And there's different ones. There's one's called the Stone People, and the Dogwood People. And there's another tribe of little people that live out in the woods of Appalachia. And I think it's the Hickory People. But each one has a different set that teaches mankind. The Stone People teach basically what you shouldn't do. They will play tricks on you and punish you for things that you've done out in the woods that disrespect nature. And they will throw stones at you. They will torment you, things like that. But only if you do things that are bad in nature. The Dogwood People are a very joyful people. They make children laugh. They're basically like brownies. From what I hear the description of them, they're about knee high. They have really long hair. They dress in tribal clothing. They only use things from nature. Basically, I think from what I hear about brownies and red caps and things like that, it's almost the same thing. And they say if you hear whispers out in the woods, things like that, that's them talking. You should avoid those areas. Or if you find something out in the woods, like a stone tool or an artifact or something like that, that could be theirs. So you're always supposed to ask them and tell them that you're going to take it, rather than just taking it. If not, the Stone People will actually throw stones at you, or even worse sometimes. I think that's pretty interesting. I always get a feel of not being alone when I'm out in the woods sometimes. It's just different places, and I think that's part of it. I don't know. It's kind of just a strange sense of not being alone in the woods. If you've ever had that experience out in the woods where you're walking and you kind of feel like somebody's watching you, or you just can't get over that feeling that someone's behind you, or you keep hearing footsteps behind you. It could be them. Could very well be them. I know it's crazy, but I kind of believe in I believe in that. I believe in that. So, but yeah, it's just so beautiful out here. But I'm going to give you guys some views, and I want to show you that gorget that I carved of the serpent, and then I'm going to say goodbye. So I'll be right back and just. Okay, guys. So just wanted to show you guys this right here. This is the piece that I carved. It's a piece of a shell, whelk shell. Lightning whelk shell is what they're called. And this is the serpent. And I just carved it in a shell. And this is what, basically the horned serpent that they talk about in those stories. So I just wanted to show you guys that. Okay, everybody, we're going to get out of here. But thank you for joining me today. It's beautiful out, so just wanted to show you guys how beautiful it is here. And I can see why people would want to live here for a very long time, just like the Cherokee did. They didn't want to leave, they stayed. When the Trail of Tears started, a lot of the Cherokee came and hid in the mountains, and this is where they stayed. So you can see why. But you guys have a good day, and I'll see you next time.